Right guys, we're on this, which is a True Path of the Ninja, the Shoninki, and we're on the next one. And we are going to work through today, infiltrating a forbidden mansion on page 65. Okie dokie, let's go. So even though you've been to a place before, you may feel uneasy if the area is quite unfamiliar. So basically you can go to certain places, but if you're not absolutely familiar with it, it's going to be a bit crazy. This is even more so with forbidden and restricted areas. This is what the big difference is. It's okay going somewhere. Then you try going somewhere at night. Then try going somewhere at night where you're not allowed to be. Suddenly, everything gets different. It is essential for a shinobi to know how to get into such mansions without difficulty or fear. Is one of the essential things. So basically, you've got to be able to look at somewhere you're not allowed to be in, sit back and think, going in there, I know I'm going to do it. So, you know, we always see it like Ocean's 11 and all that. You plan how to get in, what you're going to do, how you're going to get there. So basically you can make an educated guess about a complex to infiltrate. Now this sentence, so it is in another province, basically somewhere you've never been. Sometimes you have to make an educated guess about the building or complex you need to infiltrate. They might be strictly forbidden to outsiders. It's best for you to walk by the gate a few times with a funny intention. But basically, it says here, you can make an educated guess. So it's a nobody really does this in ninjutsu. And the idea is you look at a building and try and map the internals by looking at the outside of a building. You can say, okay, that's so much distance, it's so much height, there's a window there, there's a door there, there's a fire there, there's smoke coming out there. So you can start to see, this is where the fire is, this is where the stairs are, that's where the second floor is, there's an entrance there. So you can start to map out. So that one sentence is a whole skill in ninjutsu alone. Okay, or you can feign an illness to get in. So you need to go. This I really love. Basically, what you do is you have an illness such as vomiting, stomachache, anything, and you basically play on human emotions. You go to the front door and you say, "I'm really sorry. I'm like, I need to use the bathroom." But at this moment, you don't try and go in. You're just trying to use something on the outside of the house, so they get to see your face. Okay. You're okay. So basically, they get to see your face. You look upset. You're never meant to be drunk. To be drunk, they will hate you for it. So, but if you're genuinely not happy, get some water. You've got heat stroke. Then sit there for a while. Look like you're getting better. Then go away. Then a little bit later on, come back with gifts. So you say to them, I'm on my way to market, or I'm on my way to such a town. I've got to do something. Then you come back. You're actually not. You're still checking the joint out. You're making mental notes of it. You don't go away for days, literally. You're looking at them for days. Then you come back with gifts, and you know how many people are in the house. You say, I've bought these for the servants. I've bought these for the masters. I've bought this for the women. And basically, I just want to say thank you for, allowing me to stop. Their natural human reaction to that will be, come on in. And then when you go in, you start giving the presents out, and the master of the house is like, this is good. My people are happy. Now, this is where the shinobi is now on the inside of the family quarters. Maybe not the very insides, but you're past the main guest bit. And you can start then looking at things. You can open things, mark where things are, make mental calculations. You say, okay, now I calculated this area was this big, but actually I can see there's a wall there, there's a window there, in the window. And you're looking at the window and you're like, okay, I can see the handle to the window is in the middle. Now the Bansen Shukai goes through loads of this. The handle's at the left, the handle's at the right, it's at the top. And you can start, if you're allowed outside again to have a look around, make a mark on the window where you actually are. So that's how you get into another person's house, through using both mental projection and using human emotions. So you should test humans. So an oral tradition says you should test metal with fire and humans with words. Me and Jay Kane go through this all the time, and it's one of the best teachings that you'll ever know from ninjutsu. Is metal needs to be tested with fire. Basically, you forge metal hard, and people are tested with words. When you say the right thing or the wrong thing to a person, you can get them in an absolute state. So humans, if you want to know how to get into them, you use words, not threats. There's certain things, and it starts messing with them, and they start reacting to it. Simply seeing something can set people up to such angry levels and emotions that it's quite easy to manipulate people. Okay, the poem above. So the Japanese bush warbler that chirps among the blossoms is fragrant like blossoms, even though they are not flowers. Basically, the above poem means that you can creep into someone's favor with smooth words. So not only can you test it, you can then flatter people. So the idea is about, we've talked about infiltrating a hidden mansion. Now we have the hidden mansion of the mind. So you can sort of like, I'm going to infiltrate into that person's mind by saying this, or by flattering them and being nice. So we're getting into places which are forbidden. Okay, then it goes back to the reality. It just randomly in the middle goes to a little bit abstract. So basically, you can start measuring distances and taking educated guesses and things like that, which we've discussed before. You can get 2 bags to know how many houses are in a compound. So you get either in your sleeves. You can start to pick out, okay, that's for houses that have people in it, that's for houses that are empty, and whatever you want to count, they're storehouses, they're this. And remember, Japanese people have long sleeves, so you go in, you take out, and you throw away one thing. Now, if you have 20 stones in your sleeve and 20 stones in your sleeve, and you've got 1 stone left, you know that there are 19 storehouses. If you've got 2 stones in this left, you know there are 18 inhabited houses. And that you need to know, because it gives you an area, a size of the income of the area. You know that the average person earns this much in the town. You know there are this many people. Therefore, you can say they can provide so many men at arms. You start to realize how much actually mathematics, we talked about this before, mathematics and shinobi go hand in hand. It's, even though I'm crap at maths. Okay. Yeah, we've done that. Sleeves of the house. Yep, subtract the numbers from the original, that's fine. And also, this is done for a procession. So when you're in war, so this is just for a compound, but when you're at war, you go and you look, and basically you set up bags with little tags on. Imagine lots of little bags, little cloth bags with a tag on that says spearman, samurai, mounted, cannons, guns, whatever you want, tanks, aeroplanes, it doesn't matter. The point being is, you just simply go, you see what it is. I've seen 1 horseman, take it out, throw it away. I've seen 1 spearman, take it out. You're not counting them, you're just sitting there all day throwing beans out. I see a horseman, throw a bean out. You see ashigaru, or 10 ashigaru, you take a bean out, that's 10 ashigaru. Whichever system you have made, you basically pull them out. And at the end, if you started with 100 beans in each bag, and you pull up the bag with mounted horsemen, and there's 22 beans left, or let's do 25 so I don't have to do maths. So 25 beans left, you know 75 horsemen have passed. And this is this idea that shinobi are using this pebbles along the way as the enemy are going past, and you're watching them, say, go past a bridge or through a thin choke point. Okay, you can know blah blah blah. Yep. Okay, that's fine. It's difficult to get the whole picture. Slip among the rest of it or pretend to be a merchant company. So here's where a shinobi has to pretend to be low level. So they are warriors. He tells us this. The Shoninki says shinobi are warriors. They are bushi. They are samurai. And basically says you have to pretend to be a merchant or someone low. Don't pretend to be someone high. We'll go into that in a minute. And if you can get into the enemy, how can you fail to count them? It says you're inside the enemy, you can count anything. And now we do know in the book before this, the book of Samurai, it says you use mats to count how many people. So you walk past tents as a merchant, buy some sweets, do you want porn mags, do you want some alcohol, you know, that type of job for when you're passing the soldiers. And it's like 5 mats, 4 mats, 8 mats, and you just do maths in your head, like 4, 6, 12, 16, you know, and you're starting to add up. And then what you do is you go, okay, that row has got so many soldiers, that row's got so many soldiers. Then you can look at the from outside and make averages of the soldiers. All different ways of counting the enemy. Okay, right. Okay. When infiltrating an army, you should engage with no one but the servants. Treat them liberally and do favours for them without allowing them to know what you're being deceitful. Nothing is worse than your intentions becoming too easily detected. Be warned, if you gain the favour of a higher ranking person, it will prevent you from achieving your desired effect. This is because you are hated by lower ranking people. Okay, that's the end of the thing. Basically, what happens is you go in, you're a bushi, you're a samurai, you've been brought up doing the classics. You can read off different Buddhist, you know, mantras or Zen things. You absolutely know the hero epics of the past. And you've spent your life dedicated to perfecting your character. But you've got to go and hang around with the idiots playing in a bar with the cig out, you know, with like playing cards and gambling, a bit pissed, and they're all like, yeah, seen her tits, you know, and all that sort of stuff. And you've spent your time refining your character. So you have to switch that mind off, go into it, and then entertain on their level. And really, but it can get, and I've done this myself, obviously, I've gone to university and sometimes been to dinners or family events or with my cousins, and you just sit there and you're like, my cousins are like, knocking their heads on walls, and you just have to put up with it till it's over. And it's testing. So the point here is you might have to go for days among people that you absolutely can't really stand to be around, or not them themselves, you don't dislike them, but the idea is that they might be sort of gamblers, you know, people who are prostitutes following the army, you know, people that might not be on the samurai's level. So you're going to have to, as you as a samurai going in, would have to be like, I can't really get on with these people. But you do it. And the point, so the reason I'm spending time on this is because he says it's really important that you have to force your emotions down and get in there. Because if you suddenly go to the people you like, I'll go and hang about with them, you've lost your entry into it. Because once you go into the hierarchical system of the high-end people, there's who sits here and they do what, and it's all very, very structured. And then the people down below won't give you any tidbits or anything. So for example, whenever somebody comes to deliver to my house, if it's a delivery man, I'm always giving them biscuits. I've got like, if I've got any, not cash, I try not to give cash out as tips because in England we don't really tip, but I have like a packet of chocolate biscuits I'll give out, and they're like, oh, you're right mate, how's your day going, where you delivering next? And I'll change my vocabulary to suit them. And the next thing, they're helping you loads. They're like, oh yeah, I'll help you drop it here mate, I'll do that, oh I've got a free one there, I'll bang you that. And you start giving it the, I'm a low class person. Whereas if somebody else turns up, you start to change your attitude. Now that helps you get into each strata of society. And when you're in an enemy camp, you get in with the low people. Everybody ignores low people. Bansen Shukai talks about this. People ignore low people. You can walk about as much as you want. The minute you're dressed in samurai regalia bits, people are like, are you meant to be here? Should you be here? Are you sure this is your troop? Shouldn't it be over there? Whereas if you're just carrying bales of rice, there you go. Yeah, I'm just carrying bales of rice. And you're counting, making calculations. So there you go, guys. Just from a very simple chapter, there's a lot to deal with. So basically, get yourself a copy of How to Be a Modern Samurai. Get yourself a copy of How to Be a Modern Samurai. Get yourself a copy of True Path of the Ninja. And keep up to date with me. We're only that far through, guys. We're yay much. So we've got all that to go yet, which is excellent in this series. I hope you're enjoying it. As I say, I always let the videos hit 500, then I do the next one. So here's today's video.